So we're going live. Got it. Okay, I think we're on YouTube now. Hello, YouTube friends. Hello,
Hey,
Denise. How are you?
I'm good, Carrie. What's up?
Not too much. I know we're going to talk about travel today, but I'm really excited about what we're going to be talking about in the month of August coming up. Next week we have a really cool show. It's going to incorporate traveling with pets. We have a great guest who's going to be joining us, one of our business partners, amazing author of the book Spoil Your Pet, Jan Jeremiah. She's going to talk to us about travel. But then coming up, we're going to talk about how you actually reverse your biological age and get younger, which I think is so cool. There was a movie. Was it Benjamin Button? What was the movie?
Yeah, where he ages backwards.
Ages backwards. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to, and we're going to be able to do this on screen because you'll be able to watch our YouTube from a year from now. We're going to look younger. I promise you. And we're going to have better brain chemistry and all kinds of really cool things. So that's coming up in the month of August and beyond. I think we may even take it into September because it's such an amazing topic. But today, welcome everyone to What's the Takeaway? This is a show that Denise and I, who are lifelong friends and business partners of the last 17 years, decided would be kind of a fun thing to do because it was a method that we used, not just in our businesses, but also in our life, which is if something isn't going really, really well, sometimes you just have to take stuff out. There's just too much stuff there. You have to take away things. And so that's the premise of our show. We pick a topic and then we share with you how to remove things so that you see better results. And this month's theme has been about travel because it's the summer and we wanted to have a little bit of fun. We had some really cool guests on. Go back and listen to those older shows, please. But today, we're going to talk about building your business where you travel. Because, like, one thing Denise and I always say is, as much as we may slant workaholic, I think, and I'm not saying full on workaholic, but maybe slant workaholic, maybe we're travelaholics too. One of the things that I realize is that you don't have to separate anymore. This is my work time. This is my vacation time. This is my travel time. And in fact, sometimes on a work day, you just want to pick up and go somewhere else and work somewhere else. I actually love the freedom that we have in our business doing doTERRA, that we can literally work from anywhere. I've worked in other states, other countries, other cities. I've worked in museums and cafes. I've worked in friends' homes on the beach. I've worked up in the mountains. Like, there's really no limit to where you can do our particular business. So when it comes to planning where you want to go, you may as well make it a tax write-off and also a fun business experience, right? So Denise, what are our takeaways? Because this all sounds well and good. Yeah, let's just start building our business all over the world. But we know that as wonderful as that sounds, it doesn't always work that way. So what do we need to take away to get the success we're looking for?
So one of the takeaways is take away the need to feel like you have to have more people in your pipeline. Really big. Take that away. Takeaway number 2 is take away to be in some place, in country, in state, wherever you want to build. You don't have to be there.
Okay.
You don't have to be at that location to build. And then take away the temptation to build where everyone else is having success. They're having success for a certain reason. So we're going to break these down and get into it. But unlike you, if I'm traveling, I like to work, so I can't help it. I will hand out stuff to people. I will meet people where I am and talk to them about it. I will plan a meeting for someone who's there. I will plan my vacation around people just so I can travel. And we love to travel. So it's combining the two is like the best of both worlds for me.
Yeah. And I love that too. I used to do 2 on, 2 off when I traveled. So like 2 days for travel and fun and enjoyment and friends, and then 2 days like really focused business. So 2 on, 2 off, 2 on, 2 off. It always worked so well for me.
Yeah, no, I really like that. I think I'm going to start with number 2 because you don't always have to be in a place to work with people and to help people and to grow a business. So my thing is the relationship.
Okay.
That's what I really want to focus on. So like my in-laws live in Ohio. And so, it's a given that at least 3 times a year, we will be in this little city in Ohio. And I adore my family there. They're lovely. It's hard for me to hear the same family stories over and over and over again.
Okay.
Without like twiddling, like getting antsy, right? And I love them. I'm not kidding. I adore them.
Right.
So I would start to go to town because I think when you travel also that you should be helping the economy.
The local economy.
The local economy.
Yeah, the local economy.
I do. Those beautiful little stores that line these old cities in the United States are fabulous. So I'm going to say for 5 or 6 years, I always went to this one store. They always had things that I would personally purchase if I was a buyer for my own little store.
Okay.
Always found something fun. I found things that were unique to the area, which I love. I liked when they featured artists. So I would always go in and I always chat with them until one day I saw something there that kind of, I went, oh, there's an opening here to share what I do. And I'm going to tell you that owner of that store today is, a dear friend and one of my builders, because we just hit it off. And although she did not remember me coming in over years, and I'm not kidding, I think I spent thousands of dollars in her store.
Wow.
But she knew my whole family, my extended family from my husband.
Okay.
So there was that connection and that understanding. And then she loved the product, the doTERRA product. And she had been looking for someone to work with, right? She didn't think right away, oh, I'm going to do this as a business. And that's another thing, right? You don't have to find that business partner, but
no, it could be just clients. It could be
someone who's an enthusiast.
Right, for sure.
But I'm not always there. So I have teams in North Carolina. I have teams in Ohio. I have Italy's another subject we'll talk about later.
Okay.
I have a beautiful team in Brazil. And I just make sure that we have FaceTime frequently enough, that they're supported, their questions are answered. When they text me, I make sure I get back to them. When we have events that we're all at, I make sure that I set some time aside to be with them, because I have yet to fly to Brazil. And
yet you still have a thriving business in Brazil, which is exciting.
Yeah. But again, it's based on the relationship.
Right.
The person who's building there, she's terrific and she's excited. And as long as we're really loving on her and giving her support and support by time, by just listening sometimes is all they need, right?
Right.
But even sampling, I send things to them all the time. And so there are many, many ways that you can build in a place that you're not in regularly or, frequently, but that you have a good relationship with the person there. And you certainly do that with your team in Asia.
Yeah, most of my business is in Asia. And right now I'm not traveling at all. And I didn't travel at all during COVID. And yet we've really been able to keep in touch. And Zoom, of course, is a great way to build a business. But even before that, we had conference calls. There are other ways for you to connect with people. And I wouldn't discourage people from building somewhere else just because they can't necessarily travel to those places. So, number 2 is that takeaway is really important. It's not about if you have the relationship in place, you can take away the need to travel. Okay. I don't think it works in the other way necessarily. That relationship is the base of all business. Even today, with all the technology and with all of the intercommunication and the rapid communication, I really believe relationships are so key. So let's go back to the first point, which is how many people do you need in your pipeline to build out somewhere else? So one of the things I would say to people from time to time, if I wanted to go somewhere else, is, do you know somebody in wherever it is? Like right now, I'm really focused on building in India. It's been one of my dreams. Our company doTERRA wasn't open in India until this last June, so just a month ago. And so I've had this sort of dream on hold, if you will, right? Now, for all my time traveling to Asia, I've never been to India. So it's sort of fascinating that this is something I really want to do, but I have good relationships with people in India. So it was a good, jumping off point. And the other thing is I also remove in that the expectation that the people in my pipeline have to be the people. All right. So your pipeline can supply more than one thing. Your pipeline can supply your partner, but your pipeline can also supply a referral. Okay. So you have enough there, even if you only have a couple of people, because we're all interconnected, right? You know, 10,000 people, someone else knows 10,000 people. Absolutely. Maybe it's an exaggeration. I think it's 200. Everyone knows 200 people, but that's plenty, right? And you know, much more than many more than 200 people. Some people are highly networked. Other people who are not as highly networked still know people. So you want to get on the phone and really talk to them about those places. Now, number 3 is one that I see people do all the time, which is, oh, that looks like a bright, shiny penny, and I'm going to run after it, right? So this person who's been successful in our industry is in the Philippines, in Argentina, in United Arab Emirates, in Russia, in wherever, right? And that's going to be your focus because they're doing it. Does that ever happen to you, Denise? Do you ever go, oh my gosh, I really want what she has having?
So here is the truth for me. I think it's awesome that people have massive teams in Asia. But for me, I don't really want to travel to Asia. And so if I'm not connected with someone, if there's not that foundation and that friendship, and it probably isn't a good idea. Does it look appealing? Of course it does. It does. But you know what? I really love to travel to Italy. And so that's the group that I'm going to and can build.
Right.
So I always add in my little caveat of where I want to go. Do I want to go there? Do I like the people? Is it easy enough to get there? Okay. Is it like, do I have connections with the place already? It's so important. Even if, like you're saying, you've always wanted to go to India, you have to have that draw. Now, do you have friends? Do you know people in India? Like, these are all things you take it, and we're just using India. I mean, it could be any place.
Any example, yeah.
But what you have to know is that you're going to spend a tremendous amount of time and effort to support everyone there. And if you don't have that time, and this is the same thing about more people in your pipeline, if you can't support the people in your pipeline right now, step back and let people in as your systems or as people get brought into your teams and brought into your product and educated, as they get more educated, so you can step back and then say, oh, I can bring more people in now. Like, you really it's not fair to bring someone in and then not educate them. And we're big educators.
Yeah. And I think that's true of all products and services. It's one thing to use something. It's another thing to know all the ins and outs of it. Right. And so when you supply that kind of service to a client or a customer or a partner, those people are going to be attracted to you no matter where you are. So if you have that reputation, let's go through the 3 takeaways. If you have the reputation of someone who really brings everything to the table, who's 100% supportive, who's like a dynamic leader, right? You've done the work on yourself. You're a really good leader. Then those people will respond to you and you're called to go out to another place. And then, with the takeaway number 2, even if you aren't in that country, you can be a dynamic leader by having all of the business practices necessary for you to be successful. The technology will make that bridge, right? Or you know what? They can come to you too. Sometimes people are really, really excited to come to your country or your city or your state, right? As much as we like to say, we're going to go out, invite them in. If you're in a season in your life like I am, where I can't travel right now because I'm a full-time caretaker, doesn't mean I can't invite people in, to come here and to meet face to face. So that's good. And then, as far as chasing others, if you're dynamic, you don't need to chase anybody.
Yeah. Well,
right.
And even without being dynamic, because there are a lot of people who may be a little more introverted,
No, I guess I meant dynamic in terms of like having your business as something attractive to someone.
Okay. But even still, you have to get that point across. Right.
Right.
And so, and there are people who clearly you see, oh, that person would be fun to work with. That's an exciting opportunity. Right. And that's what we all hope we project. But I think it's knowing really what is behind you, the systems, all of what you've learned, all of what you can pour into people. You have to know that you can bring people on board and really help them effectively, because people want to be successful right away. And
Yeah.
so
Right. So if you can do it in your own locale, then you can bring that, pretty much adopt that, right?
everywhere,
Or adapt that, I should say, adapt that, and they can adopt it
they can adopt
anywhere,
it, and then they
anywhere
can
you go.
share it.
So what
Yep.
are the benefits of travel and working at the same time? Because we both do it. So what do you love about that? Like, what's your
Everything.
everything? Okay.
Everything. When people say to me, "Oh, you got to get on a plane," there's delays. I'm like, "Yeah, but who cares? Because I'm going away. This is
Right.
fun.
Yeah.
Like, this is fun to me, even if it's just in a car. I like to go out. I like to be with people. I like to see where they are, and it really resonates with them and makes them feel so good when you're coming to them. They
Yeah.
feel a special sense of they're honored, and
Right.
they go to work.
Right.
They get people there because you're making the trip. And I think that's a nice it's a respectful thing to do. I think that's really great. And we've done this, well, I've done this several times with doTERRA with their Diamond Club program,
Yeah.
where we traveled all over.
Right. And that was so much fun.
I loved it. I had a great time. But what do I like the most? Yeah, I just like seeing how other people live and what they do. And so it's fun for me. What about you?
It's interesting. It's like, I love the home away from home concept.
Hmm.
So like, there's things that I can't get where I live, as much as I love New Jersey and as much as I love my home. Right. And I'm so close to New York City, which is, a little global microcosm. It's different from being in another country or another city. You get
Absolutely.
a different feel. Now, some of those places I really, really love for a short period of time, not a lifetime, right? So what I like about it is sometimes you just need a change, right? You need a new scenery, maybe you need a new climate, maybe you need different food or a different pace, right? You can bring your business along. So I like the idea of going somewhere and kind of setting up for a short period of time. Maybe it's a week, maybe it's 2 weeks, maybe it's a month, and just saying, for right now, this is my business away from business, home away from home, whatever you want to, however you want to frame it. I think it makes it more enjoyable than people who do like those grueling business trips, like 20 cities in 13 days or something, like that. That's for me, not getting the most out of a travel business opportunity. Sometimes you have to do that. Sure. But I think technology can replace those types of trips. And then you can actually look at your business and break it down and create more meaningful time with a group, right? Like I would rather go to a city or a country or a state and spend a week with a group there and really get to know them and really invest in them than trying to say, okay, I'm going to spend the next 2 weeks traveling for my business and then hitting a bunch of cities. And as I'm doing that, I'm getting more tired. So guess what? I'm not also giving to those people what I gave to the people in group one or city one necessarily.
Yeah. So I'm going to pop in here for a second, but you're also not working all the time. I'm not. So
Okay.
even when I'm with this group, we put in play.
Right.
That's the bonding, that's getting to know each other even better. That's taking them away so that they can talk to you about something that they're concerned about that they wouldn't talk in front of, the entire group. Like for me, even when I vacation, I interweave work because I love it.
Yeah.
And so I need to make 2 phone calls to catch up with someone. Then in the morning, I'm not maybe going to the beach, right? I'm going to work on that. But the rest of the afternoon, I'm going to do what I want to do. And so I think that whole I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
I think we should vacation proof our businesses, honestly,
So
because
you don't really have to get away from it. You can bring
no,
it, right? Yeah, you can bring it with you. I love that. Vacation proof your business.
yeah, because I feel, I mean, for me, I'm not working all day, right?
No,
I'm just working maybe a couple hours, but it keeps my business going. But the same when I'm visiting people who I'm not normally with, I like to play with them, not just work with them.
right. Oh, definitely. Relationship building. All those relationship building activities are so sustaining. I think those things really sustain your business. And I think that was part of the challenge of COVID and the lockdowns and the travel bans and all of that.
I agree. I agree. So out of the three,
Yeah.
Carrie, which one would you take away to make your life easier and more?
Well, I have to take away number two, which is take away the need to be somewhere to build there because right now I can't travel. And yet my heart is with a lot of different people in a lot of different places. And so I have to move my heart out temporarily and invite other people in. So for someone who used to travel a lot, that's going to be my big takeaway because I want to go back to feeling connected that way.
Yeah, and I know you love to travel. So mine is number one, which we've been
Okay.
in sync for so many weeks.
Yeah. Now yeah, that's good.
Diverging. So I like number one because I tend to think I can do more than I can do.
Okay.
And so, and I don't like people to fall through the cracks. That's not a good feeling for me. I like to
Right.
make sure that they are paid attention to, their questions are answered, they're feeling good about their products, then, you know, their experiences. And so it's definitely number two, because I tend to overextend.
Okay. Yeah, I think we both do.
Yeah. But
All
I do,
right.
I do love this. And I think it's really fun and more than possible to build outside your area.
Yeah. So if you watch the show, let us know which takeaway you are going to walk away with. And also tell us where you want to build your business. We would love those comments in the comment section. Come back next week to our YouTube channel where we'll have another exciting show with our guest speaker, Jan Jeremiah, about traveling with pets. This is What's the Takeaway. Have a great day.